On the morning the High Justice died, the city woke to the sound of rain tapping the windows like a persistent question. It was a slow, deliberate rain, the kind that soaked into stone and memory alike. By 7:30, the courthouse steps glistened, marble slick as ice, and the flags hung heavy at half-mast, though no one yet knew why. Justice Adrian Hale, known across the nation as the High Justice, had arrived at his penthouse office at 6:45, as he did every weekday without exception. He was a man of ritual: black coffee, 2 sugars. The morning briefs read in silence, a moment at the window overlooking the river where barges slid like dark thoughts downstream. At 7:15 he would call his clerk. At 7:20 he would dictate notes for the day. At 7:22 a single gunshot echoed through the penthouse. The sound was swallowed by distance and wealth, by thick glass, deep carpet, and the city's indifference. It was not heard by the guards in the lobby. It did not reach the street. It lingered only in the office, where Justice Hale collapsed beside his desk, blood blooming into the Persian rug like an accusation. When the clerk arrived at 7:30, she found the door locked from the inside. By the time Detective Mara Quinn reached the scene, the rain had turned to mist. She stood in the doorway, gloves on, eyes sharp, absorbing the room. A body on the floor, a pistol near the right hand, no sign of struggle, no note. "Looks clean," said Officer Bell, too quickly. "Clean is never clean," Quinn replied. Justice Hale lay on his side, suit immaculate except where it wasn't. The wound was precise, entry just below the jaw, professional. The pistol was registered to him. A suicide, the room insisted, but rooms lied. Hale had been more than a judge. He was a symbol of incorruptibility, of iron resolve. He had sentenced governors and gang leaders alike, survived threats, protests, and the whispered rumors that followed power like a shadow. The press loved him, the public trusted him, and the powerful feared him. "Any cameras?" Quinn asked. "None inside," Bell said. "Building security shows no unauthorized entry." Quinn crouched, noting the angle of the shot, the position of the hand. She had seen suicides. This wasn't one. Emily Ross had worked for Justice Hale for 5 years. She sat in the interview room, hands clasped, eyes red but steady. He was intense, she said, but fair. He believed in the law. Did he seem troubled? Quinn asked. Emily hesitated. He received letters, threats, always did, but lately there were emails, anonymous. They mentioned a case from years ago. Which case? The Marrow Syndicate. Quinn's jaw tightened. The Marrow Syndicate was a ghost story, an organized crime network dismantled a decade earlier. Its leaders were either dead or buried behind bars. Hale had presided over the trial. Did he respond? Quinn asked. No. He said the past was settled. Quinn doubted that. Eleanor Hale lived in a townhouse that smelled of lavender and old books. She wore grief like a tailored coat. Adrian had enemies, she said, offering tea, but he had principles. Did he ever mention regret? Quinn asked. Eleanor's eyes flickered. Everyone has regrets. About the Marrow case. Silence. Then he did what the law required. Quinn noticed the photographs. Fundraisers, galas, smiling faces, power captured in frames. She also noticed one missing space on the mantel, a lighter patch of dust. Something removed. Quinn asked. Eleanor set down her cup. A file Adrian kept. Memorabilia. Where is it now? Eleanor looked away. I don't know. Quinn dug into the Marrow Syndicate. The trial had been airtight, or so it appeared. Confessions, wiretaps, financial trails. Hale's rulings had been decisive, but beneath the surface, Quinn found irregularities, evidence admitted late, a key witness whose testimony contradicted earlier statements. A sealed motion, granted under emergency authority. The witness, Leo Marrow, had vanished weeks after the verdict. Officially, he entered witness protection. Unofficially, no one had seen him since. Quinn paid a visit to the archives. The sealed motion bore Hale's signature. The justification was vague. The consequences immense. "What did you do?" Quinn murmured to the file. Jonah Pike smelled a story like blood in water. He had covered Hale for years, praised him publicly, questioned him privately. "Suicide?" Jonah scoffed. "No way. You think murder?" Quinn said. "I think secrets." Jonah replied, "Hale wasn't clean. None of them are." Jonah slid a folder across the table. "Anonymous source. Sent last month. Financial transfers. Offshore accounts. Names you'd recognize." Quinn scanned the pages. The accounts traced back to shell companies, one of which connected to the Marrow Syndicate. Hale took bribes. Quinn asked, or he was blackmailed. Jonah said, "Big difference." Following the money led Quinn into a maze of trusts and proxies. One name surfaced repeatedly: Victor Klein, a fixer with no official title and unlimited reach. Klein had represented clients tangentially linked to Marrow, then pivoted to lobbying, then disappeared into advisory roles. Quinn found him in a private club, sipping whiskey. "You're fishing in deep water, detective," Klein said. "I'm looking for a murderer." Klein smiled thinly. "Justice Hale made choices. Choices have consequences." "Did you threaten him?" "I reminded him," Klein said, "of a promise." The promise, Quinn learned, was a deal. During the Marrow trial, Hale had suppressed evidence that would have exposed a broader conspiracy: politicians, donors, corporations. In exchange, the syndicate would collapse quietly. Stability over truth. Leo Marrow had refused to disappear. He had threatened to talk. Hale had arranged protection. Someone else arranged silence. Quinn tracked Leo to a nursing facility under a false name. "He was alive, barely. They told me the justice would keep me safe." Leo whispered. "Then they came." "Who?" Leo's eyes filled with fear. "The ones above the law." Security footage from a neighboring building showed a maintenance elevator stopping on Hale's floor at 7:05. Authorized access code. Inside, a figure in coveralls. Klein had the access. Confronted, Klein didn't deny it. He wanted out, he said. He thought confession would cleanse him. "So you killed him?" "No," Klein said softly. "I gave him a choice. The choice was staged, a gun placed, a narrative prepared, a death that preserved the system, but Hale resisted." Quinn said, "The angle's wrong." Klein's smile vanished. Ballistics revealed a second weapon. A silenced round embedded in the desk leg. The fatal shot came from behind. Another player. Eleanor Hale's alibi unraveled. The missing file contained correspondence. Hale's planned confession: "I loved him." Eleanor said, tears breaking through at last. "But if he spoke, everything would burn, lives would be destroyed." "So you saved them?" Quinn asked. "I saved the country," Eleanor whispered. Eleanor Hale was arrested quietly. Klein vanished. The official story remained suicide. Jonah published what he could. Most of it never saw daylight. Quinn stood by the river, watching barges pass. Justice had died that morning. Not just a man, but an idea. Years later, a plaque honored Justice Adrian Hale. Mara Quinn touched the cold metal. The High Justice died, she thought, long before the gunshot. And the law, wounded, kept walking.